Peter.
All right, so I picked up a newspaper this morning, and the headline says, strikes lead to the economy teetering on the brink. What is the state of affairs?
I think, Peter, part of what informed the headline yesterday could be the mining data that came out showing that mining really took a knock from the lack of output. Now, how does that translate that into the economy probably teetering onto the brink of a recession? I don't think we're going to a recession. The output, the GDP that is coming out later this month is definitely going to take a knock. You'll remember that throughout this year, mining played a major role in the numbers that we've seen on GDP growth, particularly. First quarter of the year, there was a 6-week strike in one of the mines. It dragged down GDP growth. Second quarter, when production went into full swing again, it pushed GDP up to 3.2%. Now, how long have some of the mines been out not producing? So that is what is going to push GDP right down to the bare minimum. So
we can't afford any more strikes, essentially.
We can't afford any more strikes, but I mean, it's not only mining, it's other sectors of the economy. We've seen the transport sector, which affected the retail sector of the economy. We'll see the numbers that are coming out next week, how far the impact was of the transport strike on the retail sector. So that's another sector of the economy. That's a secondary sector that's being impacted. So I do think strikes are going to have a negative impact on the numbers coming out this quarter and even for the fourth quarter of the year.
And this could be job losses going down the road, isn't it?
Definitely. Fortunately, so far this year, there haven't been that many retrenchments. But I do think if this continues, we're going to see some people losing a number of jobs. And I know, Peter, you've seen the data that came out a couple of weeks ago. Unemployment is up. So it's not as if we can afford to lose more jobs. I have added to the over 4 million people that already don't have jobs.
All right. So how is it that in this environment that the business confidence index might be up?
Part of that, I think, was informed by what happened with the Minister of Finance giving out the medium-term expenditure framework, the policy statement that came out a couple of weeks ago. In there, government does reiterate that they're not going to withdraw the so-called stimulus spending. They're still going to go out and spend. So there's not going to be a cut in spending. The other thing what came out strongly as far as the commitment to infrastructure spend, we haven't really seen it being manifested in the sense of people getting contracts and actually going out, and that's what's going to stimulate the economy and create jobs. But the fact that government is still committed to that, and there's a commitment to fiscal discipline, which is good for the economy, I think part of that stimulated the confidence index, because otherwise you would have expected it to have dipped.
All right, okay. Globally, post-US election dramas playing out, fiscal cliff they're calling it, Europe, recession, and China, change of leadership, but data coming out of there is not great either. So what does all of that mean? Give us a global picture.
So I think globally the eyes are on the US now with the fiscal cliff. They do say that the leader of the House is appearing to be softening his stance, because it seemed that neither side was going to give in, and we're going to see this fiscal cliff, which is going to, of course, have an impact on global economic growth if the U.S. doesn't grow, if their deficit is not going to be managed, and if they're downgraded. That is bad news for the global economy. Europe has been going on for a while, and if China is not growing as well, it simply means that our export side of the economy is not going to be similar, because we don't have a market to export to. You remember, Peter, the argument that we used to have, well, that was used to, people used to say that if only the rand could weaken, then the export side would pick up, manufacturers would do well. You cannot, even if the rand is weak, you cannot export if you don't have a market to export to. And if Europe doesn't recover, that is a problem for our manufacturing sector.
Okay, Tendani, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us this week, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.